Today's video is about exercise. Exercise is something that I would set a goal to try to do better at in regards to like cutting back on time or intensity because I knew it was compulsive. And I would cut back just a little bit and I would think, oh my gosh, I'm doing so much better. Like, this is what normal people do. And maybe it was what normal people did at points in my recovery, or what I thought was my recovery. But it wasn't, because I kept that compulsive mindset. And so I would be able to stick with it for maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month, and then I was right back into that compulsive behavior. It wasn't until I decided and committed to go cold turkey on exercise. And by cold turkey, I mean literally I did zero exercise, almost zero movement, with the exception of I'm a mom, so of course I have kids that I was taking care of, but honestly nothing extra. So that means going to the grocery store. I used to walk up and down every single aisle and had to walk around the whole perimeter of the store because it was a compulsion of mine. And I had to stop doing that. And I had to stop parking the furthest parking spot away. I had to stop trying to go up the stairs for certain things that I didn't actually need. I had to sit down when I was so used to standing all day long. I drove to the mailbox instead of walked to the mailbox. I drove to pick my kids up instead of walking to pick them up. Even when all the other moms were walking, I knew for me that that was not healthy for me at that time. And it may not even be so much that it was like a physical state not healthy, but mentally I knew that would mess with my head. So when you're looking at your exercise, if this is something that is a part of your eating disorder, there is a lot to be said about going cold turkey and completely stopping. Your body will be fine. It's not gonna, you're not gonna die of some disease because you've stopped moving your body. Your body needs to recover. It's been through a lot. And I'm not even just talking about people who need to restore their weight. This goes for any size body. If you've been restricting and you've been dealing with an eating disorder, when you go into recovery, exercise is not something that you need to be worrying about. And so I encourage you to look at your recovery and where you're at and ask yourself, am I truly, truly eliminating all forms of movement that may be related to that compulsive aspect of exercise for you? So it kept me stuck in quasi-recovery for a long, long time. I thought I was doing better, and I was telling people I was doing better. Maybe I was, quote unquote, looking better, but it always just snuck back and got me. So when I truly, truly committed to recovery and committed to Tabitha's, for me to work with her, I was one of her clients, I had to commit to stopping all exercise and all lower level movement. And I really wanted to work with her, and I knew I wasn't going to lie to her and work with her and still do it. So I had to really commit to not doing that. And it was so hard at the beginning. I remember one story I'll share with you about my husband was going out for a run one Saturday morning. And for people with eating disorders, it's very hard when you're trying to stay sedentary to watch other people move. It's part of the disorder. So I remember watching him out the window go for a run. And I remember having to grab on to my son's bunk bed with both hands as tight as I could and told myself I could not let go of that bed until I knew I wasn't going to get it. I knew if I moved, I would go try to move my body and exercise, jumping jacks, running up and down the stairs. I don't know what, but I knew I couldn't trust myself. So I held on to that bed for as long as it took for that rush of anxiety to kind of come down until I knew I could trust myself to walk away and go sit down and be okay. So it was that intense for me. It felt like I wouldn't be able to endure that anxiety in moments, but I'm so glad that I pushed through it, because now I love to sit down in the middle of the day. And if I have the chance to sit and I'm standing, I'm going to sit down. And so having that feeling of freedom around exercise, if I, don't exercise for several days, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't make me feel Anxious does make me, I don't fear that something's going to happen to my body. I don't fear weight gain. It doesn't feel the same. It feels when I want to, I do, and it feels good. And it doesn't feel like a punishment. It doesn't feel like a chore. It doesn't feel like a burden. It doesn't cause me anxiety when I don't. So it really, really does pay off. So much. I can't emphasize enough how much I encourage you to reevaluate your exercise and your recovery and really commit to just completely stopping it and knowing that it's temporary and you're going to get through it. And it will so pay off. All right. Hope that helps.